The Fox Virginia News at 10 is next. Tonight, Albemarle High School collecting funds to help an organization build a playground. We'll tell you how they're raising their money.
Plus, a second life sentence given to a Charlottesville man who murdered an anti-gun violence advocate. We have details on his recent sentencing.
And after a surge in discrimination at multiple universities, Senator Tim Kaine co-sponsors a bill in hopes of giving students a sense of relief. We'll explain. It's 10 o'clock. Time for your Fox Virginia News.
Now, Fox Virginia News at 10.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Alexia Williams.
And I'm Ashley Brooks. We're going to come back to those stories in just a moment. But first, here's Travis with your Fast Cast.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
If you like spring-like weather in the end of winter, you probably weren't disappointed by today with temperatures in the mid-70s this afternoon and lots of sunshine. If you had a chance to enjoy it, great. If not, get to do it all over again tomorrow. Temperatures right now ranging from 44 in Standardsville to 63 in Charlottesville, 52 in Scottsville, and 59 degrees in Madison. Wide range of temperatures across central Virginia right now. Skies mostly clear, save a couple of high-level cirrus clouds streaming on through. That's all we'll get overnight tonight, hence the clear to partly cloudy sky forecast. Low tonight of 44 degrees in Charlottesville, maybe some upper 30s in isolated spots. Most everyone, though, in the 40s. How about this for a Wednesday? You got sunshine, maybe a few clouds here and there. 67 degrees at noontime, maybe good enough for an outdoor lunch break. On our way to a high of 74, but those pollen counts starting to get a little uncomfortable. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about how much longer this warmth will last in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good, Travis. Thank you. Our top story tonight, the woman who attacked 2 Orange County EMS paramedics back in 2022 was back in court today. Sierra Johnson was arrested earlier this year for a bail violation and was back in court for what was scheduled to be a bond hearing, but things took a turn.
Sierra Johnson was sentenced after a surprise plea deal was accepted in court. Johnson was sentenced by a judge for 25 years total, but 24 years and 6 months of that sentence was suspended, meaning she'll serve about 6 months behind bars. Her remaining 6 months will also include credits from her time spent in jail while waiting on a plea deal. The deal also included more than $17,000 to be paid in restitution, 3 years of supervised probation after she's released, and continued mental health counseling and medication. Now, if you remember, Johnson's first plea deal was denied back in December after a judge called the case one of the most brutal he has seen without a death involved. That original deal was only set for 6 months of house arrest, and the victims were not happy about that. But according to the special prosecutor on the case, Jeffrey Hayslip, today's deal they agreed with.
The victims in the case were happy to be heard. They spoke to me about the case and what they'd like to see happen. They really just wanted to send the court to send the message that if you harm a first responder or someone who is there to do good, to help, that you're going to receive a jail sentence.
Now, the judge was very clear that if she disobeyed the deal, including failing to continue with mental health services, she runs the risk of having to serve more jail time. And she said that she's happy that the deal sends a message and is glad that it's all come to an end.
Tadashi Keys is now serving his second life sentence after the court sentenced him yesterday for the first-degree murder of an anti-gun violence advocate.
Fox Virginia's Felicity Taylor explains how Keys got out the first time and why the judge gave him the sentence again.
Mr. Keys is somebody who, but for being given that second chance, he would be sitting in a prison cell.
4 months and 8 days. That's how long Tadashi Keys was free from a previous life sentence before he killed his friend. On Monday, Keys was sentenced to life for murdering Eldridge Smith.
We need to make sure that this can't ever happen again to anyone else's family members, certainly not at the hands of Mr. Keys.
Keys was 18 in 2004 when he was sentenced to life for the first time. He was taken down as a part of a federal drug and gun conspiracy case. At the time, sentencing guidelines were mandatory, but that all changed in 2018. The First Step Act, a bipartisan criminal justice bill passed by Congress and signed by President Donald Trump, was designed to improve criminal justice outcomes and shrink the federal prison population.
To his demise, the judge was a little bit smarter than the last one.
Records show Keyes had disciplinary issues during his first stint in prison. In Monday's sentencing paperwork, the judge gave 3 reasons for giving Keyes life. 1, it was Keyes' second life sentence in 21 years. 2, he executed his victim, shooting Smith 14 times in the head and neck at point-blank range. And 3, the facts of the case altogether. Felicity Taylor, Fox Virginia News.
The Orange County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help to identify a person who allegedly used counterfeit money. Officials say a person used fake $20 bills at a Sheetz in Locust Grove on March 4th. If you take a look here at this picture on your screen, if you can identify that person, you're asked to contact the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
Extra daylight means more evening activities, and some Albemarle High School students aren't wasting it.
A group of students held what they call a miracle marathon to raise money for a local project that's looking to build an all-inclusive playground. Fox Virginia's Garrett Witten has this story.
Tuesday night, Albemarle High School students took advantage of the new evening daylight and sponsored the Miracle Marathon at the school's track. Now, the goal was to complete the distance in under 2 hours, but the real highlight was where all the donations were headed.
It's a relay style marathon with 200-meter legs.
Over 40 runners showed up to run in support of and fundraise for Bennett's Village.
They're aiming to build an all-abilities accessible playground here in Charlottesville. The site is at Penn Park, so we're pretty excited about that.
Albemarle High School Student Council Treasurer and future track team member at the College of William & Mary, Maddie Gibson, helped lead the effort. She heard about Bennett's Village through her mom, who is an occupational therapist who works with children.
A bunch of the people she works with are associated with Bennett's Village, and so she brought the idea and the organization to my brain.
Runners who participated were encouraged to make a donation.
We are trying to raise money, so we've made these homemade t-shirts, and if you donate a certain amount, you get one. And then also there's Venmo forms all around for people to Venmo Bennett's Village directly, and the goal is for each person to donate at least $15 if they're participating.
One runner was Marcus Grimes. He is a member of Fitness, Fellowship, and Faith, a fitness organization that plans, grows, and serves small workout groups for men. Within the organization is a sub-organization called Speed for Need. Its members push riders with special needs in customized racing wheelchairs.
We're bringing folks out here who has a disability to let them participate in athletic events that they would normally not be able to participate in. And it fits in perfectly with the Bennett's Village connection, that it is an inclusive environment, that we bring folks into the athletic realm.
This is the second year it's been hosted. In Albemarle County, Garrett Witten, Fox Virginia News.
After an increase in reported incidents of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia at universities all across the nation, Senator Tim Kaine is vouching for a bill that could help students get a response in a timely manner. According to the Department of Education, between October 1st of 2023 and February 15th of 2024, the Office of Civil Rights has received 219 complaints related to Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, and anti-Arab discrimination. That's over a 1,000% increase compared to the year before. Senator Tim Kaine announcing today that he has co-sponsored the Showing Up for Students Act, which will provide $280 million in additional funding for the Office of Civil Rights at the Department of Education. Passing this legislation would provide the Office for Civil Rights with crucial resources to combat discrimination and ensure a safe learning environment for students, end quote. According to that same release, for years, funding for OCR has not kept up with the increase in need for their services. Now, Senator Kaine says that the Showing Up for Students Act will give the OCR the funding to maintain their responsibility to students by adding more staff and resources to respond in a timely manner. We will be talking with Senator Tim Kaine tomorrow, and we'll ask him about some of those details.
Both Senators Mark Warner and Tim Kaine have applauded the Senate confirmation of Jasmine Yoon to be U.S. District Judge for the Western District of Virginia. The Senate recently passing a vote on her nomination. The move allowed for a confirmation vote yesterday. Yoon is the first Asian American federal judge to ever serve in the state. Warner highlighted her accomplishments on the Senate floor before her confirmation.
For the last decade and a half, Jasmine has served as an invaluable asset to Virginia's legal community, offering both a unique zeal for public service and an incredible life story. I know that she will serve with distinction and make our country and our Commonwealth proud.
Yoon has served as interim university counsel and associate university counsel at UVA, her alma mater. She also worked as an assistant United States attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, where she investigated and prosecuted more than 80 financial crimes and public corruption cases.
Former special counsel Robert Hur testified today about his investigation into President Joe Biden's mishandling of classified documents.
The testimony brought heated questions from both House Democrats and Republicans. Jen Sullivan recaps what happened.
Fiery moments on Capitol Hill as former special counsel Robert Hur was questioned for more than 4 hours Tuesday by members of the House Judiciary Committee about his previous report into President Joe Biden's mishandling of classified documents.
That is not a word that I'm going to continue with my questions.
The line of questioning coming a month after Hur released the 345-page report on Biden's retention of classified documents following his time as vice president. Transcripts from the hours of interviews with the president were released Tuesday to provide more context into the year-long investigation. The report, though, had shocking details which appeared to question the president's cognitive ability.
My assessment in the report about the relevance of the president's memory was necessary and accurate and fair.
The special counsel did find evidence Biden willfully held onto classified information, but ultimately did not charge him. Writing in the report, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury, as he did during our interview of him, as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Some Democrats, though, accusing Hur, a Republican, of using language that was politically damaging against the president.
You don't gratuitously add language that you know will be useful in a political campaign. You were not born yesterday. You understood exactly what you were doing. It was a choice.
Republicans pressing Hur about Biden's mental competency.
Based on your report, did you find that the president was senile?
I did not. That conclusion does not appear in my report, Congressman.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Well, since college athletes weren't allowed to start profiting from their names, images, and likeness, there's now debates that they can, and it has more information coming up.
Lawmakers, athletes, and coaches gathered on Capitol Hill to talk about the future of NIL deals. I'm Connor Hansen with some pros and cons they see in the new business model coming up.
Quiet weather through the middle of the week as temperatures stay warm. Pollen cleansing rain, cold spells. We'll see if we have any in the forecast.